You're human, and there's going to be things you're struggling with. And I'm going to give you 4 steps to solve any problem you're experiencing. Now, I'm not going to say this is going to solve all of your money issues. This isn't going to solve all of your relationship issues. This isn't going to solve all your problems, but it's the first place to start. And as you expand and practice and learn this, you can literally solve any problem you're experiencing. And here's the thing about solving problems. You get caught up in the how versus the result. If you want a better relationship, it starts with you. If you want to make more finances, it starts with you. If you want to have a better body, you want to feel healthier, it starts with you. At the end of the day, there's always someone who you take your meaning from how you experience life. The people who don't enjoy life are the ones who assume meaning comes from everyone else. But the reality is that you can solve your problems. God won't solve your problems. He gives you a method. God gives you a method to get to the solution. Coaching, people in around you, your relationships, finances, money. If you look for a problem, you're going to find the problem. People can't solve your problem. Your spouse won't solve your problem. Your boss won't solve your problem. They give you a method. Your spouse might be someone who can listen to you. But are you willing to admit the truth to your spouse so they can actually give you a response based on that truth? Whenever you go into a job interview or you go into a yearly annual eval, your boss can give you some solutions, but they won't solve the problem for you. Only you can do that for yourself. And here are my 4 steps to solving any problem that you're experiencing. I have notes because I start to go on a tangent about this, right? Life's just gonna throw you curveballs. You're gonna have to learn how to hit them, right? Or you can be that person, like I am a big baseball fan. When life throws you curveballs, you can learn to hit them or learn how better to hit them, or you can just ignore them. And guess what pitchers are gonna do? They're gonna keep throwing curveballs at you. That's all it is. But let's be real. If you're gonna experience the same thing in your relationships, your finances, and your health based on the same problems you exist in because of it's you. If you feel a lack in your relationships, you probably feel a lack in your finances, you feel a lack of time to take care of yourself. For me personally, sometimes I feel like there's, as a man, a lack of intimacy because of what I want. There's a lack of finances because of what I want. There's a lack of time to get stuff done in the gym because of what I want. And it's me distracting myself from existing in what it is right now. So this is a simple principle you can use, 4-step process. Stop, submit, struggle, strike. It's really easy to remember. All S. Stop, submit, struggle, strike. Whatever you are experiencing a problem, the first step is to stop and assess the situation. Before you can solve a problem, you have to know what the problem is. And that means shut up and stop. How many times are you trying to ram yourself through a problem and you make the problem worse because you never took a minute to just stop and say, what even is the problem? What am I worried about? What am I struggling with? When was the last time you took a second to just stop and assess what's going on? The first step is to stop and take a moment. Pause. Take a step back. Look at it with fresh eyes. A clear situation. The reason why coaching and mentoring is so important is because it's someone who comes in and says, stop. Stop for a minute. Now let's review what's going on. Because whenever you have a problem, when you're in the problem, you think about the problem for the problem itself versus if I look and take a step back, what am I working towards? What is the solution I want? The reality is you're going to always come up on problems. You think money is going to solve your problems, but with more money comes more problems. Like the idea of legal fees, taxes, having to figure out your own tax schedule, not just on April 15th, as a business is like, oh my God, there's like quarterly, annual, and then like all these things. You think you want a high-paying job where you can itemize everything and reduce your taxes, but have you tried itemizing your receipts? It's a lot of work. And then you have to figure out amortization. You have to figure out how much I can actually claim so the IRS doesn't come in and say, hey, we're gonna screw you today. So stop. Whenever you're facing a challenge, take a deep breath to pause and assess the situation. What is going on? Take a step back, get a clear picture of it, and then you can see the solution. You're losing the forest for the trees. After you stop, submit. People hate that word, right? Everyone thinks of it as like, wives submit to your husbands, but everyone also ignores the part where it's like, but husbands submit to your wives as Christ loves you. As you submit to God, a higher standard, you can then submit to everything else. I submit to my wife because I believe and respect the fact that she has a reason for what she's doing based on us. Just as she submits to me in the sense that if I'm taking care of her, she's going to follow me because I have her best interest in mind. The reason you don't like the word submit is because you don't know where you're going in life. You don't know what you want because you haven't stopped to assess the situation. Maybe in a relationship, your wife won't submit because you're not providing enough. She can't trust you to submit to her. You want her to do all these things, but you can't even do things for yourself. You want your body to submit to you, but you're not willing to eat better, to train better, to learn about yourself, to take care of yourself. You want your kids to stop doing whatever it is they're doing. You want them to submit to the fact that you know that where they're going is not the right direction. But are you there for them? You want to stop being in debt, but have you stopped to submit to the fact that you are in debt rather than burying your head in the ground trying to say, like, it doesn't exist? Submit to the process. Once you've stopped to assess the situation, you have to submit to the fact that you are in it. If you're struggling, you are struggling. If you're happy, you are happy. This is the time to acknowledge you can't control everything. This step is about letting go. So you stop, you submit. And this is why I'm a Christian. I submit to a God. If I believe in a higher power, I have that faith in something that things work out. Because otherwise, your only other option is to think that nothing's going to work out, everything's going to be awful, everything's going to be terrible. And which one do you think is going to work better for your life? Probably just, even if God doesn't exist, even if I spend all my time in Bible study time for nothing, if nothing exists, then I didn't lose anything. But in this life, I gained everything because I took the time for myself, and I'm happier because I submitted to a better calling. I have coaches because I can submit to the fact that I'm not where I want to be. So I go to my coach and like, hey, I need help here. You've done this. What am I doing wrong? I tell my clients, stop. If it's not working, just stop. Because maybe you should work a little harder on it. Or maybe you need to stop and submit to someone who knows more than you to help you see through this problem. Because at the end of the day, you're not special. You may be unique, but you're not special. So when you stop to submit, you give yourself that time to be frustrated. Me and my wife have this rule, like when we're frustrated or angry, we just let it out. Just let it out. Healthily, just let it out. Stop and submit to the fact that if you're angry, just let it out for a minute. There's no sense in holding it in. Like when you hold it in, like there's this whole BS idea that you just need to be stoic and hide everything. But then it stews up and it blows up eventually. So you might as well just submit to the fact that you are angry, you are sad, you're happy, you're mad, whatever it may be, and just let it go. Release it. Because submitting means you're willing to learn, you're willing to grow, and you're willing to get guidance where you need it. You don't know everything. Someone else out there may know something that you don't know. You know something that other people don't know. But you have to submit to that. So first, stop. Second, submit to that. Maybe stop in the middle of it. Like stop worrying, stop stressing, stop doing what you're doing. Submit to the fact that you are in it. Submit to the fact that you might not know enough about it. Submit to someone who's going to help guide you through it. 3, struggle. If you're in a problem, it doesn't just disappear. You're going to have to struggle for a minute. Every problem comes with some kind of internal, external struggle. That means you're going to have to, when you accept that you stop, you submit, and you're going to struggle, fighting, it gets a little easier, right? Like people who fight MMA, people who do jiu-jitsu, people who work out, you understand there's going to be a struggle, so you don't even think about it. That thought of like, oh my God, I'm going to get hit in the face. Oh my God, the weights are going to be heavy. Oh, this run's going to suck. When you admit that it's going to suck, it's going to be heavy, you're going to get hit in the face. Life gets a lot easier because you understand, like, why am I going to fight it? It's going to happen. Why am I just going to sit around waiting for it? I know it's going to happen. If it happens, it happens. Life gets a lot easier that way. Your life is difficult because you keep avoiding struggle. You look for the easy way out. And there's a validity in looking for something easier. If you have a hard job that's mundane and is a repetitive task, there's no need to make it more difficult than it is. Get it done, get it over with, move on. But if you want to work out, it's going to be a struggle. If you want the body you want, it's going to be a struggle. And I know it goes against what I say about like struggle, and like life should be easy and it shouldn't be a complete struggle, but you are going to struggle. Anything worth having, there's going to be friction. The love of my life, my wife, we struggle, we have friction. There are times where we fight a little bit, but that friction will cause us to grow stronger, because if we never struggle, if you don't struggle with your wife, if you don't struggle with your partner and everything's hunky-dory, y'all probably are not telling the truth about everything. Like, there's going to be problems. Life exists. Humans exist. If you married your twin, then that's kind of weird. Like, it's really weird. If you get along on everything, y'all probably aren't bringing up the real things. Not everyone gets along. That doesn't mean you have to fight about everything, but there's going to be friction at times where you're going to have to question, hey, what are we doing here? Is my way better, your way better? Maybe we need to go to counseling. Maybe we need to go talk to someone. Maybe we need to ask friends, like, hey, what have you done in this situation? That's the part of stop, submit, and struggle. You're going to struggle internally because you're wondering, like, I've done it this way for years and years and years and years. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, when my wife and I first got married, I struggled. Being Asian, we're usually like, Asian families, it can be very enmeshed because Asian parents love their kids dearly. I'm not saying anything about anyone else. I'm Asian. I was raised Asian. I can speak of the Asian culture. That's not racist. That's just reality. And it was a struggle for me to be like, well, my mom cares about me. You care about me. How do I navigate that? And I stopped and submit to the Bible, which says that there is a reason why men and women get married and a man leaves his house, his parents. Because his parents stop worrying about the kid. They submit to the fact that if they're taken care of, if they taught them well, they can go. And maybe they'll struggle with that for a minute. But if you stop to submit, and you submit to the struggle, you get to the next step of strike. Stop, submit, struggle, strike. Sorry, that's ASL. Stop, submit. That's not stop, submit. Okay, that's number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, right? Stop, submit, struggle, strike. Strike. Once you've stopped and assessed the situation, you submitted to a process, and you've embraced a struggle, then it's time to take action. So when my wife and I had struggles about my enmeshment with my mother, Freudians come out of nowhere, I had to stop and ask, okay, what do I want at the end of my day? I want peace in my family, right? So I submitted to the fact that I want peace. That doesn't mean bend over and just take everything, be kind, be nice to everyone, but it means being kind. I struggle with this for a minute. Like, how do I tell my wife that I still want what's best for my mom, but at the same time I understand her side, that we are a family? And I decided to take the decisive action. I decided to strike. That sounds wrong when I say it like that, but strike as in I made a decision that it is me and my wife, because based on the biblical terms, when a man marries a woman, the man leaves his parents' household. It wasn't the decision I wanted to make. Like, it's not, I never cut my parents off. I hope you guys never take that as cut your parents off. But you have to make a decision to say, this is what I want in life, this is where I'm going in life, this is the decision I made. Right or wrong, I don't know right or wrong, I can't judge you right or wrong. But when you stop, assess the situation, you submit to the fact that maybe you don't know everything, that maybe the situation is trying to teach you something. You struggle with that internal and external struggle, fight of learning through what you're going through, and then you strike. Make a decision. What can I do next? So, as I'm going through my notes, I want you to think about it. When you stop, when you're facing a challenge, take that breath and ask yourself what's really happening. A lot of the problems you have are miscommunication. The struggles with your wife, the struggle with finances. No one taught you finances. No one taught you how to be a man. No one taught you how to train your body. So you stop. What do I need to learn? That's the submit part. Your ego is going to want to protect you. But when you stop and you look around like, okay, what can help me? That's submitting to a higher calling, a higher power, a greater good. When you struggle, when difficulties arise, don't shy away from them. You lean into them and ask, what can I learn from this? Because you are going to struggle. And the easiest way to struggle in life is to never admit that maybe you need to learn through the problems you're going through. And I've worked in mental health care for 10, 11 plus years. I've seen it all across different demographics, against different people, against different problems. And I get it. Some people's problems are more real than yours, but your problems are real to you. You're probably not in the Middle East wondering about when the sky is going to fall down on you. If you're watching this on YouTube, that's not to make light of it. You're probably not someone who's starving in a developing country, worried about like, dude, how am I going to feed my kids? You're on YouTube watching this. You're probably not struggling that bad. There are men and women who face relationship issues that, like in, what's it called? Not The Last of Us. It ends with us. That you're struggling to see the light because you believe in this person, but they're not changing. And you need to take a decisive action to move forward. I don't mean move on, move away. I don't mean any of that. I mean move forward. It is your life. And as hard as it can be, you need to make the decisions that guide you towards what you want in life. You may make the wrong decision. You may make the right decision. You'll never know until you learn to stop and assess where you're at. Submit to the fact that maybe you don't know everything. Struggle internally and externally and learn from the struggle. And then once you've learned, you can strike. You can take action. You can move forward. Action is the key to breakthrough. You can have all the thoughts in your head. I can write them down on my iPad all day long. But until I act on them, film the video, record the message, send the DM, ask the girl out, cook the baked chicken that you're going to eat with rice for the next 20 years of your life, lift the weight, drive the car, skin the buck, fish the tree. If you know where that's from, comment where that's from, and I will appreciate you forever. But no matter what you're dealing with, these 4 steps: stop, struggle, stop, submit, struggle, stop, submit, struggle, strike. They're your most powerful way to navigate through any problem. This is how you find a clear, actionable process through your issues. This is what you can rely on. It's really easy to remember. Stop, submit, struggle, strike. Stop, submit, struggle, strike. Stop, submit, struggle, strike. Now you're going to think this means stop, submit, struggle, strike. When it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Because this is W. The simplified, relatable approach makes the process easy to understand and apply to your life. This is a reliable framework you can use to tackle any problem you face. Like for me, for example, I'm not very good at freestyling. I can go off on tangents. So I need to write notes. I stop to the fact that maybe my mind works in great ways where I can do a lot of things, but it goes all kinds of places. So I submit to the fact that I need to write, and sometimes it's going to sound robotic because I need to read it somewhere. I struggled with that for a while because I want to be a great orator. I want to be a great teacher. I want to be a good trainer. I want to be a good coach. But it helps me. And so I made a decisive action. I strike. What in your life are you working through, and where can you apply this? Comment it below. Let's learn together. If you comment it, I'm going to help you. I'm going to pop in and check the comments and see, like, how can I help you as you go through this process of it's crazy. Like, I'm right-handed, so when I do it right-handed, I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4, right? But then when I do it left-handed, I'm like, I'm still learning. I'm still learning my ASL, guys. Stop, submit, struggle, strike. Okay. In peace, love, and light. This is Laurence with KandL Mindset. Hope you're having a great day. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are. Signing off until next time. All right, take care.